All right, page 2, here we go. So the first part, number 10, says find the coordinate of C. I don't know if we really talked about a problem like this in class, like, for sure. But I just want to see, I'll just look at this one and you just kind of have to reason through it. All right, C is at the same line, on the same line as B and A. Okay, C has the same Y coordinate as B, and C has the same X coordinate as A. So my point is -2, -3. I could also just look, it's over 2 down 3, so it's 2, -2, 3. Okay. Find the length of AB. That means I have to use the distance formula. Okay, remember to use the distance formula. That is this formula here. All right, AB, I'll call this X1, Y1, B, X2, Y2. Okay, so the distance between those 2 points, D equals square root of X2, which is 3, minus X1, which is minus -2 squared. Remember, if you subtract a negative, it becomes a positive, plus Y2, which is -3 minus Y1, which is just 3, equals square root. 3 plus 2, I get 5 squared, plus -3 minus 3 is -6 squared. 5 squared is 25 plus 36. Remember, -6. Okay, so this comes up a lot. All right, this mistake comes up a lot. When I square a negative number, especially in my calculator, all right, I need to make sure I use parentheses. All right, I have to make sure I use parentheses. So, because when I don't use parentheses, it'll do 6 squared, then multiply it by -1, and I would get -36. All right, know that if you're doing this problem and your answer is negative, then you need to go back and check your work because you did something wrong. Okay, you should not have a negative distance. The length of a segment cannot be negative. I do want to check to see if there is a perfect square that goes into 61. Unfortunately, there is not, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, there is not a perfect square that goes into 61. All right. Next part says find the midpoint of AB. So there's our midpoint formula. So I'll just add my X values. So -2 plus 3 over 2. Remember, midpoint is the average of your X value and the average of your Y values. Remember to take the average of 2 numbers, I just add them together and divide by 2. Take the average of 5 numbers, I would add all 5 together and divide by 2. Divide by 5. You just divide by the number that you have. All right, excuse me. So -2 plus 3 gives you +1 divided by 2, so I'll just write it as 1/2. And then 3 plus -3 is 0, and 0 over any number is 0. So my midpoint is 1/2, 0. All right, so number 11, okay? It says M is a midpoint, the midpoint M and one M point of AB are given. Find the coordinates of the other M point B. So first thing I want to do is plot these points. I got -2, 1. That's M. And then I have 4, -5. And that's A. Think about this segment for a second, okay? And if I have A, M, and B, all right, there's that segment. I have this point, and I got to find this one. So I have to think, is point B, is that going to be up here, or is that going to be down here? What would make more sense? It would make more sense for that point to be up here, because that segment, if M is the midpoint, is going to continue somewhere up there. It doesn't make sense for that to be down here, not because it's off the graph, but because if I drew it down there, then M would not actually be the midpoint, A would be the midpoint. And your direction said that M is in the middle. Okay? So to find this other point, Mrs. Logus did it 2 ways for you on the answer key. I'm going to do it 1 way. I'm going to explain the slope method. All right, the slope method to me is the easiest. Okay, it's the easiest way to do it. All you have to do is count your units. I count my slope. So I count from A to M. So from A to M, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Holy buckets, what's going on here? I go 6 units that way and 6 units up. So that means I got to go 6 units to the left. Where am I at? -2. So 6 units to the left and then 6 units up. What the heck? 6 units up. So let's go 6, just 6 units up. Okay, look at that straight line tool that it just happened to do. All right, so my new point, my point B, is right there. So my answer will be -8, comma, 7. All right, if you want to see the algebraic work, that algebraic work is on line. All right, it's on Schoology on our answer key. It would just get a little bit messy on here. All right, so you're just kind of working backwards if you're doing it algebraically. Okay, OG and OH divide a straight angle. Remember, straight angle means 180 degrees. Into 3 angles whose measures are in a ratio of 4 to 3 to 2. Okay, ratios. This will come up a lot in this class. You may see ratio of angles. You may see ratio of sides, areas, other things. Okay, don't be scared of them. When I see a ratio in a problem, I just slap an X on those numbers. So that becomes 4x, 3x, and 2x, just as you see it here on the picture. So one angle is 4x, one angle is 3x, and the other angle is 2x. Well, all 3 of these angles together will give us 180 degrees, right? All 3 of these angles together form this straight line, okay? So all I need to do is go 4x plus 3x plus 2x equals 180. Some of you might have just written it right away as 9x equals 180, and that's fine. It's not a big deal. So you get an x value of 20. Okay, x is 20. So to find FOG, FOG is right here. So FOG is 4 times 20, which gives me 80 degrees. All right, that is number 12. That's the end of page 2, which that is my time. If you have any questions, please come see us. Come to PLT. Go to the MRC if you can't find us.